What is up, heroes? This is Midnight Zero, and welcome to a little short video I have about Chapter 1 Corpse Party. This is going to be all of the alternate endings. So if you've been watching my Let's Play, of course, you'll know that we got the true ending for this chapter, but as with every chapter in this game, there are a couple different alternate endings. Typically not the best endings, not something you want to be very proud of, but that's what I'm going to showcase in this video. I'm going to do one of these for every single chapter. Of course, this one's going to be the shortest because they're the fewest alternate endings for this chapter in particular. They're progressively more and more alternative endings, with escalating consequences, in my opinion. But right now we are in the infirmary. If you remember from the story, Seiko went out looking for, I think, Satoshi, and left Naomi here to rest. And there's going to be this like black phantom that shows up. And of course, you're supposed to escape. You have to get the rubbing alcohol, and then you have to douse the hairs on the door that are keeping you from getting out with the rubbing alcohol, and then light them on fire with the match. And that's how you escape. However, if you don't, and you do get caught by this like black, what's it called? I don't know, phantom, ghoul, ghost of some sort, shadow, then things don't turn out so hot. And that's the alternative ending I'm going to show you right here. And then there's one other. Hear this childish laughing. Ooh, that don't look so hot. That don't look so hot. No, you're not gonna. Ooh, it's not looking like too optimistic for you. And there it goes. I'm not going to showcase the voice acting and such like I do during the playthrough itself. If you want to see all of this, if you haven't seen any of this before, please check out my playthrough of the game first. With the story build-up, with the attitude, the atmosphere that's been created, this is a lot more tense of a scene, a lot scarier of a scene in that sort of a context. So don't let me ruin it for you with something like this, because I'm not giving it the credit it deserves. This is just to show people that already are aware of how the story normally proceeds and everything, what these sorts of endings are, to satisfy their curiosity, to fulfill their completionist tendencies. So we got this this shadow figure. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to run over here and we're going to let it attack us because that's the bad end we want to see. Now, you actually can't see it, but this is an RPG Maker game, and Naomi does have health. So after a few hits, she will technically die according to the game, and that will trigger this bad ending. So we're going to take a step, get hit, take a step, get hit, take a step, get hit. In the 3DS version, you can actually see your health in the lower screen. That said, it's not really vital or necessary by any means. Yikes, not looking so good for Naomi. There it is. You can tell the gameplay just like totally cut off there, and now we've triggered the bad ending. But what's happening? Ugh, choking. Ugh. Not want to experience. The black mist begins flowing into Naomi's body through her nose, her mouth, her ears, her eyes. In no time at all, she's completely engulfed. With vision darkening and consciousness fading, the last thing Naomi ever sees is the wildly grinning visage of a woman she's never seen before. Dun dun dun. Come on. It's supposed to trigger. There it is. This little like wavy picture in the background. It's like wrong ending. It still gives me like chills because like it's creepy during my actual playthrough. That hand shows you which wrong end you got, which is really cool. The hand, depending on which fingers are up, it shows you which one you got wrong. So let me know what you thought of that. Of course, there's one more ending that's a lot more complex, a lot more in-depth, a lot more despairful, so I'll show you that in just a second. Alright, so here we are in the second alternative ending. If you recall from the beginning, for the true ending, after escaping from the infirmary, we look for Seiko, or we get in a fight with Seiko, and then we have to look for her, and then we look for her in the bathroom. This is kind of after that fight. That fight never happens. We walk out of the infirmary and we don't find Seiko, and immediately cuts to this scene here. And how to trigger this alternative ending is to not go into that room that had the newspaper. Yes, despite everything in the game telling you not to go in that room, you do not get the true ending unless you go into that room and you look at that newspaper and trigger that event. So this is what happens if you don't do that. Why is it necessarily a causal relationship between not doing that event and this event happening? I don't really know. Other than that, I think the game just wants to force you to have to experience that sort of fear, that paranoia from the trap of being caught in that room from the whole newspaper thing. But as you recall, sadly, Seiko is the first character to go, and here we are. We run into her hanging, and here is the bad ending. This is the first ending I ever got. So when I found out it was the wrong ending, I was super relieved. I was like, oh, Seiko just like was hung, and oh my goodness, I am so glad that this is the wrong ending. Like, I'm so excited for the true ending. And then I got the true ending, and I was like, she still hung herself. So here you are. Something I didn't show during my playthrough itself is if you immediately try to go up to her and interact with her, it doesn't affect the ending in any way. But what you can do is you can try to like bring her down. It says that it only chokes her a little bit more. But like I've mentioned before, it's always better to like give them something to stand on, whether it's like your back or something like that, to at least give them a breath or two. But yeah, so now she does this whole thing where she takes the bucket and uses it as a footstool. And you're probably wondering how this could go any worse, right? Like, how could this be any worse than the true ending? And you'll see. You'll see. I'll leave that for your enjoyment. Let's take a look. Seiko, I'm right here. The filthy bucket fell from Naomi's hands. With blank eyes, Seiko swung back and forth slowly in her noose. All life had been completely drained from her face. Naomi is on the struggle bus. Why? Why would you hang yourself? You were smiling, laughing all this time. So sad. The feels for Seiko, man. Didn't you say we'd find a way out of here together? Stop this. Don't leave me all by myself. But yeah, how sad to be in the infirmary. Your friend goes out to look for someone, and then you get out and you find this, right? It's at least not as despairful, in my opinion, as getting into an argument and then having that be your last words. But ooh, this is different. These guys don't look so friendly. Child spirits. I can't move. And I can't even speak. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm really, really, really scared. Somehow or another, Nami found herself with a large pair of sewing scissors in her hand. Her mouth was agape, and she was lowering the open scissors into it as if intending to swallow them whole. I can feel the scissor blades clanging against my molars, and I can hear it too. What am I doing? Why would I try to swallow a pair of scissors? My hand's moving on its own. No, stop! I don't know if you could hear it there, but they did a really cool sound effect where it was like you could hear her heartbeat and then it just kind of weakened and then it stopped. And you notice the handprint there is different, and that's because this is a different ending. And that is all the endings that are offered in the PSP version. There's actually one exclusive ending that I haven't gotten yet in the first chapter on the 3DS version. Maybe I'll hint at that later on in the playthrough. And of course, if you haven't seen the true ending, be sure to check out my playthrough of it. And it's the ending I get in my chapter 1 playthrough, and I'll link that in the description if you're curious. It's pretty despairful as well. But if you guys enjoy this, if you guys are excited, if you guys like this sort of a thing, if you guys want to see all these alternative endings to each chapter, let me know in the comments below. This is something I kind of thought of on the fly. Figured I would want to see something like this, so figured you guys might enjoy it too. But anyways, until the beginning of chapter 2, this has been Midnight Zero, and this mission is complete.